What's up, everyone, and welcome back. Today we're diving into one of the most bizarre and audacious art heists in history. Picture this, a priceless Salvador Dalí painting hanging in one of the most unlikely places, Rikers Island. For decades, it was overlooked, gathering dust in a jail lobby until one fateful night in 2003, when a group of insiders pulled off a heist straight out of a movie. How did they do it? Who was involved? And where is the painting now? Stick around as we unravel the full story of the great Rikers Island art heist, a tale of deception, greed, and one missing masterpiece. On a bitterly cold morning in February 1965, Salvador Dalí woke up in his lavish suite at the San Regis Hotel in Manhattan, feeling feverish and weak. His body burned with a 101-degree temperature, and he quickly realized that he would be unable to fulfill his commitment that day. The world-renowned surrealist painter had promised to visit Rikers Island, New York City's infamous jail complex, for a highly publicized event in which he would paint alongside the inmates, a spectacle orchestrated by the Department of Correction Commissioner Anna Moskowitz Cross. Cross had met Dalí's business associate, Nico Iperifanos, at a dinner party earlier that year, and the two had hatched the idea. Cross, the first female commissioner in the city's jail system, firmly believed in the power of art as a rehabilitative tool for prisoners. Dalí, always a lover of grandiose media moments, eagerly agreed, as long as the press would be there to capture the performance. But now, bedridden and unable to make the journey, Dalí had to improvise. From his hotel room, he hastily put together a 5-by-3-foot painting depicting Christ on the cross. He signed it in the lower right-hand corner, ensuring its authenticity, and handed it off to Iperifanos to deliver in his stead. That afternoon, Cross proudly accepted the painting, and for a while, it became a treasured piece within Rikers Island. For nearly 2 decades, the Dalí painting hung in the prison mess hall, its significance gradually fading into obscurity. That was until 1981, when an inmate hurled a coffee cup at the artwork, shattering its protective glass case and leaving an ugly stain. Concerned about its condition, a warden had it sent off for authentication. It briefly appeared in an art exhibit at a Virginia gallery before being boxed away and forgotten. Over the years, it was shuffled between storage, the trash bin, where an alert guard saved it from being discarded, a warden's office, and finally, the lobby of the Eric M. Taylor Center at Rikers. For years, the painting sat there, its value unnoticed by the guards and inmates who passed it daily. But the plaque next to it told a different story. The artwork was valued at an estimated $1 million. To the prisoners and corrupt insiders of Rikers Island, that meant only one thing: opportunity. On the night of March 1st, 2003, under the dim glow of fluorescent lights, the Dalí painting disappeared in one of the most audacious art heists in New York City history. The plan had been brewing for months. At exactly 1 a.m., a radio squawked, announcing a fire drill inside the Eric M. Taylor Center. As per protocol, all 2,000 inmates were locked down, and guards rushed to their assigned positions in a remote wing of the jail. With the lobby momentarily deserted, the thieves made their move. One stood watch, another picked the locks on the painting's case, and a third ensured the fire drill continued uninterrupted. Within minutes, the Dalí painting was gone, replaced with a crude replica. The swap, however, was sloppy. The fake was notably smaller, and where the original had a carefully carved mahogany frame, the replica sported a hastily painted brown border. By the early morning hours, 2 guards stationed nearby sensed something was off. Upon closer inspection, they confirmed their suspicion: the Dalí had been stolen. Authorities quickly deduced that the theft had been an inside job. Inmates had no access to the lobby where the painting was displayed, and conveniently, the security camera covering the artwork had mysteriously malfunctioned that very night. Suspicion spread like wildfire through the ranks of the Department of Correction. One of the first names to surface was Benny Nuzzo, an assistant deputy warden who had worked the night shift. When he returned home that morning, he received a phone call from a fellow officer. "The Dalí is gone." Nuzzo barely reacted. "Who gives a shit?" he replied. "They're saying you're involved." He scoffed, but deep down, he knew he was being set up. Nuzzo had been with the department for nearly 25 years, holding a firm reputation among his colleagues. He commanded respect, but he also had enemies, particularly among those who resented his bluntness and his unwillingness to play politics. Meanwhile, another officer, Timothy Pina, sat at home that morning, racked with guilt. The weight of his involvement in the heist was unbearable. In a moment of despair, he cocked his service pistol and placed it against his temple. But at the last second, he broke down and decided to confess. By the time investigators from the Department of Investigation, DOI, arrived at Rikers, they already had a suspect list. Pina spilled everything. He revealed that 4 months earlier, Nuzzo and another assistant deputy warden, Mitchell Hockhauser, had approached him about stealing the Dalí. At first, he thought they were joking, but when they began routinely visiting the painting and taking photographs, he realized they were serious. Pina's confession led to Gregory Sokol, another Rikers officer, who had been brought in as the lookout. With Sokol's cooperation, investigators wired him with a hidden microphone for a meeting with Nuzzo and Hockhauser. In a dimly lit basement locker room, they grilled Sokol, ordering him to strip down to ensure he wasn't recording them. Luckily for the investigation, the wire was tucked safely in his jacket. During the meeting, Nuzzo reassured his co-conspirators that he had taken care of the painting. "It's hidden in the ceiling of my mother's house," he allegedly claimed. Hockhauser wasn't convinced. "He thinks he's going to get away with this," he muttered. With 2 confessions and wire recordings, the case seemed airtight. Investigators obtained a search warrant for Nuzzo's mother's Brooklyn home, tearing through every inch of the property. They found contraband, old logbooks, and stolen jail supplies, but no Dalí. The painting had vanished. By June 2003, all 4 men were arrested and charged with grand larceny. Hockhauser pleaded guilty and served 1 to 3 years. Pina received probation, while Sokol, in exchange for his cooperation, was given a reduced sentence. Nuzzo, however, refused to admit guilt. His high-profile attorney argued that the painting was worth far less than initially reported, citing damage and lack of artistic detail. After a dramatic month-long trial in 2004, the jury found him not guilty. To this day, the original Salvador Dalí painting remains missing. Some believe it was destroyed. Others suspect it was quietly sold on the black market. But one thing is certain. On that fateful night in March 2003, Rikers Island became the setting for one of the most bizarre and infamous art heists in American history. And that's the story of the Great Rikers Island art heist. A missing Salvador Dalí painting, a scheme pulled off in the dead of night, and a mystery that still remains unsolved to this day. What do you think happened to the painting? Was it destroyed, or is it sitting in someone's private collection? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more incredible stories like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.